it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. So for this video, I wanted to talk about my experiences with post-competition rebounding. Just know that if you've been experiencing this, you're not alone. So if you've been experiencing this, then I encourage you to keep on watching and also subscribe to my channel down below because I talk more about my journey with competing in bikini competitions and also being single navigating the dating world. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my story. My rebounding story actually started in 2018, which is when I competed in my first show. During my first show, I was not at stage weight. I was about 111 to 113 pounds when I hit the stage, and that was a little bit too heavy at that time. After that show, I wanted to do another show later on that year, which was in August, and that was the Golden State. But I realized I wasn't able to financially do the show anymore. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I'm done with competing for this year. Then I realized I had to reverse diet. So my old coach at the time gave me a plan and she had me reversing on keto and I was becoming absolutely miserable. I missed carbs so much. I couldn't handle doing keto anymore with just one high carb day. It just wasn't working for me anymore. I then emailed her asking if she could change my diet and give me carbs. And so she did, and she changed my macros for me and I was able to eat carbs again, which was great. And then I sort of fell off track and got very distracted. My attitude completely changed during my reverse after this show. I just said, screw it. I want to eat whatever I want. I deserve this, right? I was doing this for about 4.5 months, so I had a really bad attitude saying that, oh, I could eat this bowl of macaroni and cheese. Oh, I could eat this sandwich because I deserved it. And I kept doing it over and over and over again to the point where it all added up and I gained so much fat where I became the heaviest that I had ever become. I binge ate so crazy and didn't realize it until maybe about 6 months later after my show, and I felt really embarrassed by it. I realized I just let myself go and I tried to get back on track, but I just couldn't do it. My mindset was not there anymore, and I just felt at the time, okay, I'm just gonna be fat like this forever, which is not a good attitude at all. I just completely forgot how to eat well and I didn't feel very good about myself, and all the self-confidence that I had at the time just kind of went downhill. Knew that I wanted to get back on prep, and just keep in mind, guys, don't go on prep because you have weight you need to lose. I did need to reset my body, and the only way to do that was to go back on prep again, and right now I have a different attitude and mindset, which I'm going to get into in just a bit. But I gained about, I want to say, 20 something pounds after my first competition, and I ended up at my heaviest weight at 134 pounds, which is considered overweight for a female who is 5'1" and in her late 20s. It is not a healthy weight for someone that small to be at. I'm sorry, but it's true. So that's what happened, and I was getting ready to start my second competition. So let's go into my second story and talk about how my post-show rebound affected my second prep. So with my second prep, I finally decided, okay, the Golden State is going to be happening this year, and then I realized I wanted to do another show after that was close to the Golden State, which was the SF Championship. So I started my contest prep at my heaviest weight, which I mentioned was around 134 pounds, and my coach and I said, like, okay, you got a lot of work to do. I didn't realize how hard my prep was gonna be until it got really hard when I started to hit my 7th week out. My whole diet and workout plan completely changed, my cardio increased, and my schedule became very exhausting because I had nobody but to blame but myself. Your off season will completely affect your next competition season, and I didn't really think about that at the time, so it made my second prep very hard and draining because I had so much body fat to lose because I lost control of myself after my first show, and I really learned my lesson with that. With my second prep, which I did 2 shows, I lost a total of 27 pounds, and it got me down to 106.8 pounds. That's what my weight was on the San Francisco Championship. That is the lowest weight that I've ever been since probably maybe middle school. I want to say, I don't remember how much I was in middle school, but I think it was around there. It felt kind of good to be at that weight, even though I knew that wasn't exactly the healthiest weight that I needed to be at. I could be about 10 pounds heavier, and that would be perfectly fine for my body. But at the time, I felt really good about that weight. I just felt like my body was back to normal and I had control over myself. But I had to remember that contest prep diets and workout plans are not sustainable. So I had to get comfortable after my third show, and I had to gain weight. And it was gonna terrify me to gain weight, but at least I have a set weight that I can't go past before I start my next competition season. So I'm happy to say that I'm still in the weight range that I need to be in before I start my third prep, which is really nice because it really shows how much I've grown and learned over time with this process. And it's really just one big learning lesson. I'm sure there'll be many new things that I'll learn within my third prep, and I'm looking forward to it because I kind of miss the eggs and vegetables that I ate all the time. I know it sounds really weird to say, but my body got used to it. I just kind of always felt really good because it was just giving me some weird high that kept my body energized, even though it wasn't a lot of food at all. It was really weird. But I want to go into the third thing, how I talk about how this diet's not sustainable and what happens afterwards. So let me go into the third topic, which is about how this affects your mental health. Competing can really screw with your head and really affect your self-esteem and your mental health, especially post-show when you're gaining weight. We're so used to leaning out. We love how lean we look because it looks good, but as I mentioned, it's not sustainable and it's actually not healthy to look like that year-round. So you really have to get comfortable with gaining weight, and I still sometimes feel self-conscious about the weight gain, but I know it's a healthy weight gain, and I know not all of that weight that I've gained is body fat. Some of it's body fat, but not all of it. Some of it is more muscle mass because I am trying to build more muscle, especially in my glutes, because that's what I need to improve the most is my glutes and even my shoulders. So a lot of my weight is going to go towards my bottom half because of what the judges' feedback was for my past 2 shows. I just need to work on my glutes more and just tighten them up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm focusing a lot on a lot of lower body work and shoulder work. That's kind of what I've been focusing on during this off season. So as I mentioned, I learned my lesson to not rebound, just to keep building a better relationship with food. The last thing that I want for myself or for anyone is to overeat and even develop an eating disorder. I don't wish that on anybody. And I was really scared after my first show that I was developing an eating disorder, but I didn't. I was just overeating. But there are many women out there, and even men, who develop eating disorders after prep. I think the best way to not get into that is to have a plan, because when you don't have a plan, it can be very dangerous post-show, and it can affect your health and your diet. So it's really important to have that plan to stay on track and to not get yourself in a bad situation. The way that I manage my post-show diet now is I stopped my post-show coaching back in November. I had to for financial reasons, so I've been on my own as far as coaching goes, and so I'm using bits and pieces of my coach's plan, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been completely perfect with my off season, but I am getting my veggies in every day because veggies are really important, and I go to the gym 5 days a week. But I will say December was very hard. I got very sick in December. I was sick for 2 weeks, and then I went home to visit my family for 15 days, so a little over 2 weeks, and I didn't really have a lot of car use, and I didn't have a gym membership because no gym was gonna let me use it for 15 days. Like, I didn't want to pay money just to use a gym for 15 days when also the holidays got in the way. It just didn't seem worth it to me at the time, so I missed working out for 15 days, and that doesn't help my off season at all. So that is an obstacle that I ran into during this off season, but thankfully I didn't really gain that much weight over the holidays. I tried my best to maintain it as much as possible, even though I did get distracted from time to time, but I am happy that I was able to sustain my weight. I can tell you one way that helped me kind of not go crazy over the holidays and not gain so much weight during that time was that I drink a lot of water. Drinking water has really helped flush out water weight from all the carbs that I consumed, and it just helped my body weight stay sustainable and not go crazy over the weight limit that my coach said not to go over. And yes, that meant peeing a ton, but it was worth it because just drinking all that water just really helped flush everything out of my system. And I can tell you that drinking water has always been hard for me just because I think water is so bland, and I don't really like those flavored packets because they're really sugary, and I also don't really like fruity things. And then it doesn't seem like I'm drinking water anymore. It feels like I'm drinking juice, and I'm not a big juice person. I really struggle to drink water because I'm such a huge coffee person. That's usually what I drink all the time, but my body needs water, and it craves water when it's really dehydrated, so I need it. And one thing that's been helping me drink water is, let me show you. So I've been drinking my water out of this guy right here. My friend made this for me when I was in her wedding, and I really like this because it has a straw and a little hack. The best way to get a lot of water in is to drink it through a straw. You will consume so much more water than you ever thought you would. So I've been drinking all my water out of this, and I've been drinking like at least 6 of these a day because I am just drinking so much water so quickly due to the straw. So I highly recommend, if you struggle to get your water intake in, drink through a straw. Buy like a metal straw, plastic straw, you'll get hydrated really quickly. And finally, with the way that I'm just kind of enjoying my postseason is to just enjoy working out and not feeling like it's a chore, which you should never feel like working out is a chore, but to just enjoy going to the gym and just focusing on yourself, knowing that you can accomplish your goals and that you're building muscles. I just enjoy going to the gym a lot. I think going to the gym is very fun. So when you have that mindset that going to the gym is so much fun, I love being here, it helped me just have a better off season for myself and to not rebound and gain a ton of weight. But if you have gone through a post-show rebound, as I mentioned, just know you're not alone, and we all experience post-show improvement seasons and off seasons very differently. Or if you decide that you never want to compete again, that's fine too. But I'm just here to tell you, you're not alone, and I'm here for you. And if you want to talk about it, feel free to comment down below your off-season stories or your post-show season stories. Did you rebound? How did you handle it? I'd love to know your thoughts. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye.